singer and composer in the studio with us. Welcome, Jugpreet Bajwa.
I feel like a little child whose life is just begun. Girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast. I'm Angie Dhillon.
And I'm Rose Dhillon.
And I'm Alvin Dhillon.
And I want to welcome you back to part 2 of our amazing conversation with the very talented, internationally acclaimed singer and songwriter and composer in the studio. Back again with us today is Jugpreet Bajwa.
Hey.
So we closed off with your amazing performance, Jugpreet.
Yes.
But before we get into talking a little bit more about your career and journey through life, I got so excited in the previous episode that I forgot to do a win. You threw me off of my own podcast.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I was all pumped before we were doing it. Remember, I said
Ange got starstruck.
I sure, and I don't even get starstruck, but I sure did.
Yeah.
But I said to Jugpreet that we do a win of the week segment. I prepped him, and then I completely forgot to do it. But hey, that's just the nature of things. So we're going to get into our win of the week segment. You are our guest. Can I get you to highlight an observation or action item or something positive that happened for you during this week? And the reason we do a win of the week segment is we just want to keep the momentum of positivity going so that we always remember to, self-appreciate and give ourselves a pat on the back and not be so hard on ourselves.
For me, I think the biggest win of the week for me was, so I love to do these like walks along the seawall. So it's just me. I like travel out there and I'll take the train and then I'll go out to the seawall. So this time I did, which I thought was a huge win because I never thought I could actually do it. I did a 4-hour walk from waterfront down through Stanley Park through to English Bay. And it took like 4 hours because you're going along the seawall. So like, to me, I think that was like a win of the week because I feel like exercise is so important.
Yes.
Like just, it makes you feel so uplifted and like, that was something I really enjoyed. So that's something I want to keep going.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Al, over to you.
Well, mine's kind of related to you because I got a live performance of Juggy giving it here. I was like, and I just, as soon as he started singing, it was so powerful. I felt a wave coming and I just was like locked in. I was like, oh, okay. I see when this is live in person. It's a different feeling.
It's a different feeling.
It's a whole different feeling, especially when you have like a great voice like that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And before I get into Rose's win of the week segment here, we don't have a technician, and that because this is such an amazing episode, Al, can I just ask you to make sure that our camera is indeed working?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we do that from time to time here. Alvin will get up and go check. Yep. We just want to make sure, because there's a time
we've had technical difficulties.
We've had technical, So we're so used to when the lights drop or the microphones drop that we know it. And this is what it is when you're doing your podcast and you don't have a team. One day we'll have a team, but you kind of run the show. That's how it is. So Rose, over to you.
Well, I can't top Juggy's win. There was no 4-hour walk for me. But I learned something really funny. So I surrounded myself with some Gen Zs about a week ago at a work trip.
No way.
And one of them goes to the other one. He's like, "Oh, you're a dink." And I looked at him like, "This is professional environment. You just called him." He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Do you know what that word means?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's double income, no kids." What my understanding of the word dink was and what Gen Z's understanding was, I thought it was funny. He's like, "And he's a dink wad." I was like, "Whoa, what?" He's like, "Without dogs." So the generation is changing words.
These kids,
they're just smart, man. They're just manipulating the words now.
They really are.
This generation, I know.
Yeah, it was a good laugh.
Double income, no kids.
See, we're teaching our viewers some amazing things here on our podcast.
We got to keep it light sometimes,
We do.
Glass half full people.
We are. And mine is actually going to be similar to yours, Juggy. I have actually said on a previous previous episode, I've really made a conscious effort to cut back sugar. I am feeling great. And I too am working out. And Rose said to me the other day, she's like, you look like you lost some inches. I'm like, inches or maybe less inflammation because I'm not eating so much sugar. So that's a big win
Makes
for me.
you feel bloated.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But man, sugar is so good.
Yeah.
Those
it's a hard
cakes
addiction.
and the milk cakes and the ram jamans and the fresh jalebis, they get me every time.
Especially when they're
had
fresh.
way too much of that the last 2 days. I was like, well, because we were celebrating, right? So my sister's getting married next year, and so
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, so we were celebrating.
Engagement.
He proposed to her, so it was great. Like it was a great time, but now it's just like, okay, back to the regular routine.
Right.
Absolutely. Now, Juggy, if we can get back into, I know that you gave us a beautiful rendition of the audition performance that you did for Saregama. There was a performance that you did that was recognized by Salman Khan ji. Can I get you to talk a little bit about that? Now, was that from performance from Saregama?
Yeah, it was actually. So it wasn't like a particular performance. I think it was more like they actually started watching because they watched Saregama and his mom, his respected mom, also she watches it quite a bit, and so I think they were watching one day, and he was like, we became fans, and like my mom is such a huge fan of you. She talks about you all the time, and and he's like, I'm so glad to see that you're doing well. And so basically, my dream was to always meet him. Like I've always wanted to meet him. And so it was like a rehearsal. I was doing a rehearsal for one of the episodes coming up, and he was actually in the same building, but he was in another set. So they were doing a shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are the odds? Like, what if we actually bump into him today? And so out of nowhere, like while I'm practicing and while I'm singing, I hear someone coming onto the stage, and they're like, "Oi, how are you? How are you?" And I was like, he was on the mic, right? Because he was trying to distract me, and I was like, and then he goes, "I'm Salman Khan," right? And I was like, what? Like, I was so shell shocked because I was like, oh, like, what if it's just one of my buddies, right? Like, they're just playing a prank on me, because they used to do that, right? Because they knew how badly I wanted to meet him. And so, I was like, Mazak to nahi kar rahe sir? Like, are you joking? And so, but honestly, no, like he was there with like 20 other like bodyguards. It was crazy. And so like, I got to like shake his hand, and we shared a hug, and he was like, we're big fans of you. And that blew up all over social media. Like, I remember like it was all on the news channels, like, and then I got to sit with him actually on an episode of Saregama when he was there. And, just to see, like, I think really I always knew this going in, but I think what really confirmed that, that they're just humans for me was just sitting with him and Shah Rukh Khan sir too. And like, we're all just humans, we're not perfect. And I feel like, especially in this industry, like we're judged based on how perfect we are, how and all of those things. But in reality, like we all have, flaws. We have our bad days. We have all of those things. But, I just enjoyed every bit of that experience.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What other projects have you done in other large international scale performances aside from Saregama?
Yeah. So, so one of the biggest breaks for me was being able to sing in a Bollywood movie as well. It was called Chicken Curry Law. It was with Ashutosh Rana ji. And so I got to sing the song called Isse Naam Do Main Kya, and that was really well received as well. And so that was a huge time for me. I'm so thankful to everyone, for giving me that opportunity, the whole team. It was so much fun. And I learned so much from being in a recording setting like that. then after that, I did one of the major clothing companies in India. I did an advertisement, like a voiceover for them, and I was one of the main roles in that advertisement. So it was called the Raymond Black Collection. So basically what it is like, it was like, was wearing like their black sort of suit. And basically what they wanted to portray through the voiceover that I was doing was how beautiful the concept of black really is, and even if you're not able to see, you can enjoy like just the sort of beautiful fabric and all of that. And the concept of black, we look at it as just, being super dark or like everything's, in a certain way, but, they, to be intricate and I loved doing that shoot. It was so much fun. Like we had so much fun. It went on for quite a while, I think almost a month. And you got to work with so many different people, like from around the world, that have worked with, big people like, the guy, Harvey Specter from Suits.
Oh, really?
He wasn't there, but the guy who he's the guy who directed the ad worked with him too. So, so it was a huge, large scale ad. And so I was really, really fortunate to be a part of it and just to get a lot of, different shout outs from respected actors, like Ayushmann Khurrana ji and Mithali Raj ji, who's, she was like the captain of the women's cricket team of India. So it's really just cool, just being a part of that, and being associated with them. They were amazing people to deal with. And the best part about it too is like, we all started on time. Like there was no delay. Like, you go to India, it's like, 8 o'clock means 1 o'clock. Like,
in India, we call it Indian Standard Time.
Yeah. Well, over there, it was like 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock, like, no minute later, So yeah, that part of it was fun. And then recently I was in this program called Wingspan. So Wingspan is a program that's designed to have artists with disabilities from across Canada. So you go through a selection process and stuff. And it's basically artists from all across Canada with disabilities, whether it's neurological or physical. And you go into schools in your province, designated schools. And you're primarily working with elementary or high school kids. And so for me, I actually was so lucky to be the only, I was the guy who was representing BC. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was the only person that was representing BC, which was really cool. And like just to be at the high school and elementary school and talking to kids about what ableism means, what, doing activities with them kind of to show them that, hey, just because someone may not be able to see, it doesn't mean that there aren't alternatives to doing things, right? I don't like to call it being disabled. I like to say differently abled, just because there are things that we may not be able to do with our sight, but there are things we're able to do with our hearing, and there's things we're able to do with so much of that. And so like having kids realize that through activities, and then, them, connecting with them, that was so heartwarming for me. Like, honestly, like, the fact that I was able to connect with them and from all different ages, and how the parents would come up and say, hey, like you really helped my kid, grow in so many ways, or, anything like that. And kids coming up to you, off of class time and sharing things with you that they wouldn't otherwise share with other people. Like, to build that trust with them in such a short amount of time. I mean, that meant a lot to me. And it's all about making connections. And, when it came down to so we did a showcase at the end of the year, or at the end of the Wingspan sort of program. And so, just to see what so the showcase was designed for, to have the kids come in and talk about what they've learned about. And, just to see like how much the kids learned from that program and how much like, they enjoyed that program and how much they were looking forward to performing and stuff like that, like doing their own things like that meant so much to me.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
Well, you're in service of your community.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
That is. Can I ask you, Juggy, as you just said here, you said the word, is it differently able?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I really like that here. Now, we know that we've got 5 senses in the body, right? Yeah. We've got sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. For you, which one of your other senses have heightened for you now?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like hearing is definitely a big thing for me. So hearing, I feel like, because I've never had sight before, I can't really tell what's really heightened, but I know like a lot of people would say, oh, you have really good hearing. And I think the reason for that is they actually did a psychology study on this. Basically, when you lose your vision, your hearing actually substitutes for your vision loss. So it actually expands your auditory cortex in your brain. It expands into your sort of visual side as well. And so for me, I think I kind of see through my ears, if you will, So that's like a big thing. I think senses in general are heightened in terms of like my sense of smell, hearing, and stuff like that, especially when I'm going somewhere. Like I rely on those a lot for major landmarks and stuff. Like if I'm walking by a subway or something, like, right? Like you can tell from a mile away, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. No, I would definitely say like it's something I use a lot to get around.
Mm-hmm. Your story's so inspirational, Juggy. Like it's
really kind of you.
No, it's truthfully, you're so inspirational. What fuels your tank? What keeps you going day by day?
It's really interesting. I feel like what really fuels me is a lot. Like when I meditate, that's the day where I really feel really good. And that's what I really tried to get into. But in terms of like what fuels me, I think it's just, I'm not where I want to be yet. I want to keep continuing on this journey, and I want to keep making more music. I feel like there's more that's there that I want to just keep on churning out and keep on creating more content. And, to me, it's like all of these things were in my head. Why not just get it out there? Why not get it into writing? Why not get it into music? Why not get it into certain aspects of your life? And so once I've really started to do that, I think that's what really has kept me going.
Where does your motivation come from?
Family.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, without a beat, you just
yeah.
No, it's family. It really is. Family, and I think, just kind of seeing how resilient they've been through so many different things, through the ups and downs. I think that's what's really motivated me.
I wanted to ask, because it seems like you haven't ever lost your trajectory of music. You've been on the same. I know people sometimes take a break, they go somewhere else, and they come back. It seems like you've always consistently stayed with music. And what is it that's kept you this long with music? And it seems like you want to continue this journey with music.
I think what's really kept me going is that there's so much to music. Like you can't ever stop learning. And it's so therapeutic. I don't think I could ever like get it out of my life, So like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm married to music.
True love for it.
Yeah. We've done some episodes where we've spoken about the power of music, and sports. Sports has the ability to unite people. So we always feel that music and sports has the ability to bring people together. What are your thoughts on that?
Really does. Absolutely. And I mean, the beauty of music too is that, it's so universal.
Right.
And music itself is not a language, right? Like, I mean, languages exist within music, but the knowledge of language plays an important role, obviously, in understanding the lyrics of the song or the meaning of the song. But I also think like music brings so many facets of the world together. And I feel like if we start using that, I feel like if we start using ourselves internally, in terms of our potential as people, it really adds to that whole thing. And when it comes to music, like I think that even if you can't understand the words or anything, people can still interpret it the way they want to.
Right.
Like if you're singing a song and you're singing it with expression and feel and how you're feeling the song, it can really reach someone's heart too.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think all of those things can really bring people together. And that's why I believe in humanity, right? I think humanity is really above all. And, no matter where we come from or who we are, I think that's like the biggest thing. Yeah.
Amazing.
One world, right?
I had a question. Growing up, you said classical Indian music was a lot around you. That was a big influence. But did you ever get into like the 90s hip hop? Oh,
absolutely.
Like West Coast.
NWA.
Yeah. Did you ever do what we used to do? Because, of course, you grew up in Vancouver, Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have this running joke amongst us, and I think we're going to do a funny little skit and short with it. But growing up, same thing. My dad still plays the harmonium, and we had all these rags and the saregama and all the kirtans playing. And so when mom would be around the house, this is the type of music that would be playing. Mohammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar. Yeah. And the minute dad guys we leave, we're like, oh, it's like rap me.
It's party time. Let's go.
And then we go, dad's coming, mom's coming. Yeah. Quickly turn off the English music, and then it's like Sawa. Yeah. So did you have any moments like that?
No. well, I mean, okay, but when we listen to explicit content, right? Like we would make sure that stuff is off before the rents come home, right? but like honestly, yeah. I mean, music is so vast and I just enjoyed it. Like I didn't even care about the words at the time. Like I didn't even know what any of anything meant. Right. I was still growing up, right? Like, I was like 4 or 5 years old. But the thing is like when you get into this career, and this is something I've really started to understand too, right? You can be a learned musician, and that's great. It's great. Like I said, training is great. But I think music, if you're going to get into this career, you have to understand that music is also a business. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is like, if we're trying to be successful and if we want to be commercial and we want to be, in the sort of releasing mainstream songs, we can't go in there feeling like, oh, if I release a classical Indian piece, like that's going to go so mainstream, mm-hmm. because you have to kind of look at the trends of what's going on. And so that's one of the reasons why I listened to so much music back then too, is like, I wanted to study the trends. I still do. Like that's part of listening to music, is that you're not just listening, you're studying it. Like why is this song successful? What are they doing? And I'm not saying you can't incorporate classical elements into a piece, or you can't do, or into a song, I should say. Or you can't incorporate, different worldly elements, but it's about how much you incorporate, right? You don't want to go too over with anything. And so that's the role of music business. And that's why I feel like, and that's something I've really learned the hard way, so, to me, I think it's really important to keep those trends going. And that's why for me, I feel like that's what keeps me going in terms of the music side.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of music and speaking of career and speaking of business, you just dropped a track.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that 100 times. Let's talk about that.
So 100 times, one of our lyrical lyricist, I can't talk. One of our friends who's a lyricist, mm-hmm. He actually reached out and he was like, "Hey, I wrote this," and I was like, you know what, like this really goes along with my life, when I was growing up, I wasn't always the most talkative guy. I was pretty quiet, but I always had this chip on my shoulder. Like, I really want to do something, right? Like, if you listen to the line, "So var tu sochiya si kaun hunne," people used to ask me, like, who are you? Like, what are you going to do in your life? 100 ਵਾਰ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਚੀ ਅਸੀਂ dead zone ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, you know, like you feel like that person's not going to be able to do anything in their life, you know. 100 ਵਾਰ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਚੀ ਕਿਉਂ alone ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, like I might be alone. You might be wondering why I'm alone, but the reason why I'm alone is because I feel like, you know, I'm a lone wolf. Like I got to do this. Like I got to not show the world, but show myself that, you know, prove myself kind of right. And then so vad tu sochi kato mon hunne, you know, like why am I quiet? You know, why all of those things? And so, but I think that really resonated with me. And so I was like, you know, it's a motivational track, right? It's very like upbeat. It's very like, you know, still has that gangsta vibe, you know, but it's I like it too.
I was like, I'm going to bump this in the car.
Al said it's a banger track. Right? That's what he was saying.
And that's the thing. Like you can make banger tracks and you can have like, you know, banger, like beats and everything. And the lyrics can be really good. It can be very motivational, right? We don't like, for me personally, like I don't want to, you know, if I can help it, like I don't want to get into banduk and you know, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know? Yeah. But and no criticism of other artists because that's their, you know, that's their thing. And you know, obviously we still listen to it. We still dance to that stuff, right? Like, of course, man. Dollar every single day. You know? So yeah, no, yeah, for me, like you can create good songs and still get your point across and still have it be mainstream without having to feel like you need to talk about going out and fetching some guy and like doing something, you know?
So jumping off of that, because that kind of brought me to this now. So did you ever listen to Nipsey Hussle's music? Mm-hmm. What did you think of him as an artist? Because I feel like that was kind of like similar to what you talk about. Lyrics can be something different and still have banger tracks, but you don't have to be like, there could be a bigger message than what people are listening to.
Here's the difference, right? So Nipsey, I respect a lot because he was talking a lot of the stuff that, you know, rappers like him or like even back in the 90s, what they would talk about is them being oppressed, right? A lot of it would be talked about like, you know, we get pulled over just randomly. And they're just expressing their anger, right? So they're you know, a lot of people would say, well, why is this guy saying, you know, F this or F that? You know, it's like, I think they're just expressing their feelings of anger and their feelings. And that's the power of music though, right? When you have a beat and when you have all of those things and so, but now it's become a source of entertainment. It's like, yo, it's so cool, man. Like, it's so cool to be like, yo, I'm going to go and like F this person and undo, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, like, people like Nipsey, I really respect a lot because he talked about his life.
Right.
And he stood for something
struggles,
bigger, right? I felt his music was very different from what other rappers, because I feel like, the funny piece about classical music, I actually like really love Indian classical music, but I only really started telling my parents I listened to it maybe like 10 years ago, because before I used to enjoy it, but I knew if I told them that, they would make me learn how to play the harmonium, or when we go to family parties, one of my cousins would always have to play the role. That's why I was like, okay, I'm going to secretly like this kind of stuff, but I won't tell them. But just like rap music, after a while, I just started finding, especially after the 90s started trending, where it was like the music just quality went down. It was all about money, drugs, like gangs, women, like the same. The message wasn't there. And then when I started hearing Nipsey, I was like, oh, he started off saying some stuff because his lifestyle, but he started telling you a bigger picture and trying to say like, we need to motivate our people. And he was such an activist and stood for such a bigger thing that I felt like he was like,
love J. Cole too, right?
J. Cole too. Yeah.
You can feel it. Like you're saying, his passion, his words, like he's trying to help people. So you need to think, like we need to start thinking more, because whatever we're saying is influencing the next generation of kids. Right. And that's what we're giving them.
Yeah. So, it's funny that you said that, because, you know, like we all have like something that we're like, oh, if we share this with somebody, like they're going to be like you were saying, like, oh, I would love classical stuff, but like I would secretly like it, but I wouldn't say anything. Yeah. You know? And part of it too is like, what are people going to say, right? But it's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Music is music, man. We all have our different tastes. Like, like for example, like if I was in a classical crowd and someone asked me to sing Dollar, I would do it in Indian classical style, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, Dollar wangune na sada chalda, dollar wangune na sada chalda, blacklisted karane, blacklisted karane, asi put hada ku de, dollar wangune na sada chalda, mehgiya gannane. गनन गनन गन ठाठा गनन गनन ठाठा महंगे अगन नाने लखते चाकुआने असी पुत डाकू दे डॉलर मांगू नहीं ना साडा चल. You know what I mean? Like,
awesome. You can do your own covers. That's so good. That's awesome.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
You could just turn it into classical style. Everyone would be like,
yeah.
क्या बात है? भाई क्या गाया आपने? हमको नहीं पता हमने क्या गाया.
Juggy, you said earlier that that there's more you want to do, right?
Yeah.
It's obviously the sky's the limit for you. Any exciting projects that you can speak about that you're working on? Anything that's not on the DL?
Yeah. So right now I'm working on a couple of things, like in terms of like keeping it to the R&B pop stuff with Punjabi and English. So we're going to be coming out with some stuff as well. I've been actually working with one of the students that I got a chance to work with in high school, and he's a phenomenal musician. So we're working on some stuff together, and obviously, like I would say for all the people that are listening, like please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Jugpreet Bajwa, Jugpreet with a U, so Jug. Preet, and then you can subscribe to that YouTube channel, and make sure to subscribe to a Tribe Called Dhillon.
We'll make sure we put the link.
Thank you.
And so lots of exciting stuff happening. So I'm really excited for sure. I look at a person like Diljit Baji, like Diljit Dosanjh.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been so inspired by him too, because he's been in the game since 2002. He's reached he's at a different stratosphere now. And it's crazy to think, like, you guys remember when you used to go to banquet halls and stuff, Panga Pochniale, right? And like Nachdiyan Lana Kuariyan, right? Yeah. We would dance to that stuff, man. We still do. Mm-hmm. Right. And he's left such a big mark on the Punjabi community. And that was my dream, is like, to have Punjabi go international, and to see Diljit Baji starting that's actually opened up a lot of room for artists like, myself and other artists to explore that now. Mm-hmm. Right. When we were growing up, people, we would listen to Punjabi music and people would be like, yo, man, put on some, Nas, what I mean? Yeah. But now Punjabi music has been considered really, really cool. And a lot of it is because of, things like Sidhu Baji did and God rest his soul in peace, and what Diljit Baji is doing now.
Yeah. Didn't Diljit play at Coachella, first Punjabi artist?
Yeah.
At Coachella. That's
Jimmy
huge.
Fallon, Coachella, like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he did a nice remix with Tory Lanez too. To a song.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's funny when now you think about it, is that whenever we go to parties and people don't know what to play, I literally like, just play Diljit, man. Not sure what to play. Just play Diljit. It'll get everybody going.
Yeah. Just play Goat.
Now, play Goat. As we start to wind down, Juggy, as we wind down, I want to ask you, and this is just, as we get to different phases in our life and different careers, we learn something about ourselves, right? Up till this point, what have you learned about your journey?
Don't take anything for granted. That's the biggest thing. After Saregama, like there was so many things I learned about myself. Like, you know, and I already had this sort of like built in by the family, like never get too low or never get too high. So that really helped me out. But I think I learned so much about myself, you know, through that time and through all of those things, like enjoy it, be in the moment, you know, because life's too short. Right. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen, you know, later on. Like don't take, and I think that's something I actually really learned through, you know, our time in COVID. Was like, we used to be able to go out. Now we're not even being able to go out. Right. We're not able to socialize anymore. And so it's like all these simple things that we're able to enjoy and all of that. That's something I'll always take with me for the rest of my life, is never take anything for granted. You don't know what's going to happen. That's
great. I've got, are you taking any requests? Cause I've got two. Before we close off,
if I can do
okay.
Right.
So one of our favorite songs is "Ye Dosti" from the Hindi movie, from the movie. What was that movie called with Amitabh Bachchan?
Yeah, that's a good song.
That's one. Oh, Dad's gonna kill me. I'm supposed to know. Sholay from Sholay.
From Sholay,
right? And Al, do you have? So I'm gonna request "Ye Dosti." And do you have an English or 80s, 90s song that you want Juggy to do a quick rendition?
I like the Indian stuff.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. I love "Ye Dosti," and I also love you. Actually, I've heard some of your performances, you remind me of Sonu Nigam a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually had the opportunity to meet him when I was younger.
Oh man,
and he sang "Sande Se Aate Hai."
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
So good. Yeah. So any one of those two songs, if you don't mind just doing one little rendition for us.
Yeah. Sunday se aate hain. I used to sing that a lot.
Oh, I love that song.
And it's so bad because I don't remember all the lyrics, but संदेश से आते हैं हमें तड़पाते हैं तो चिट्ठी आती है वो पूछे जाती है कि घर कब आओगे कि घर कब आओगे लिखो कब आओगे कि तुम बिन ये घर सुना सुना है संदेश से आते हैं हमें तड़पाते हैं तो चिट्ठी आती है वो पूछ जाती है कि घर कब आओगे कि घर कब आओगे लिखो कब आओगे कि तुम बिन ये घर सुना सुना है ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे हम मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे हम मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे.
Wow.
I love that transition. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, you got it, sir.
Yeah, you got it.
We're never going to leave your side as the ending to our English speakers.
Yes.
Yeah. One was, write a letter, come home. So this is home for you now.
It's electric when it's live.
It really is.
You feel your whole way.
Yeah, I think my makeup's running, but wow.
Such a powerful voice, like really powerful
Very
voice.
Powerful voice.
So like a 90s song that was like one of my favorites.
Please no Diddy.
No, I promise, man. We ain't going down that route.
Yeah. We don't want to get any like a strikes on our account.
Copyright strike.
Yeah, Diddy supporters. Yeah. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? I mean it from my soul. I can't believe what God has done. Through us, He's given love one. You're so very lovely, made from pure love. It's so incredible the way things work themselves out, and all emotional once you know what it's all about. Hey, and undesirable for us to be apart. Never would have made it very far, 'cause you know you got the keys to my heart. 'Cause one, you're like a dream come true. 2, just wanna be with you. 3, girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me. And 4, repeat says 1 through 3. 5, make you fall in love with me. If ever I believe my work is done, say farewell to the dark night and see the coming of the sun. I feel like a little child whose life has just begun. You came and breathed new life into this lonely heart of mine. You threw out the lifeline just in the nick of time. You're like a dream come true, too. Just wanna be with you. 3, girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me. And 4, repeat says 1 through 3. 5, make you fall in love with me. If ever I believe my work is done, then I'll start back at 1.
Wow.
I think we have similar tastes in music. Wow, amazing! I can't believe we get to do this for a living.
I can't. This is amazing.
This is
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank you so
Jugpreet,
much,
we
guys.
just want to say thank you.
Yes.
It's been such a
thank you.
pleasure learning about you, learning from you. We're all learning out loud together.
You're too kind.
No,
Thank
you anytime, open invitation to ever
I'm
come
so
back.
excited to see what your career, see where
watch
it's
your
going. It's
career,
gonna be awesome.
You're going places, my friend. We can. You have a strong light. It's a bright light, and we can
Absolutely.
feel it. And we're just so honored that you took the time, out of your busy schedule to come in and chat with the tribe. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. It was such a pleasure, and I can't wait to watch more.
Absolutely. Well, with that said, that was part 2 of our conversation with the very talented Jugpreet Bajwa. We're going to drop all of his information, YouTube channel, IG channel. We're just going to drop it below here. So please make sure you go ahead and subscribe, check him out, and let's support him all the way. And he's going to do, I see you being a playback singer in some filmy movies or something.
Yeah,
There's something in the cards for you.
Thank
So
you.
with that said, the tribe's going to be signing off. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check us out on all of our social channels. Once again, thank you so much for your love and support and allowing us into your homes and your heart every week. Our digital family is growing, and we just want to say thank you so much. So until next week, A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast is signing off, friends, and we'll be back next week. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and think about a win of the week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.